What would you like to say about this maneuver?
There you are. You're the camera gal.
Yes.
It's going to be a great maneuver. We're going to pick it up and we're going to stick it on the van.
Cool. All right. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey folks. It's a beautiful day. It's a nice sunny day. It's springtime in Alberta. Spring is coming a little bit late this year. As you can see, we've got a lot of snow still here. But that's okay. I've got an inside job. Last fall we were able to get the express van put together enough to take it on our inaugural trip. Went out to Ontario, and it's quite a long trip, and kind of sussed everything out, and overall everything went great. One major hiccup was, we needed a high top. Neither Sharon nor myself really want to spend our time away bent over. Can't even pull your pants up, you know what I mean? So I sourced out a high top out in BC, a company called TUFPORT, and they were willing to sell it to me supply only basis. Just mostly because I'd have to pull the whole interior apart, and I'd already done the interior and a headliner and all those things, and so in order to install this one, I kind of wanted to do it on my own, just so I could have kind of control over it. And also the way that they install them is a little bit different than what I wanted to do, and so they were kind enough to look after me. They put together a high top for me, and it took a couple of months. I had to order it, and it was ready pretty much the time that they said it was going to be. So I went out there to Delta, BC, and picked it up with the trailer. Took the van out there with the trailer behind it, an enclosed trailer, and picked it up, brought it back, and so that's my project, is to install that high top on the van. Now I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, and I wasn't going to film all this because I'm lazy. Filming is kind of almost more work than the job, but I thought it'd be a good idea to get it on record, just in case someday down the road we sell the van, and whoever wants to buy it can see what kind of work was done to it, and exactly the quality of the work and everything that has been done. So I decided to film it now, starting now, and so I'm bringing you back on board here, or bringing you on board initially here, and I'll kind of fill you in up to speed as to where I've gotten to so far. Okay, here's my messy shop. Got another project going on in the city right now, and so the van is kind of taking a back seat to all that. But here's the high top. So I've unloaded it off the trailer. I've also kind of positioned where the solar panels and where the vent is going to go. The vent has been installed. Just did that today. The solar panels, you can see some holes here. Maybe you can see that on the camera, maybe not. I've sourced out exactly where they're going to go. That's them over here. The problem I'm having, that's not a problem, but I had 300 watt solar panels on the roof before, and there's not going to be a room, there's not quite enough real estate for that here. So I'm going to just put one in the front and one in the back, and I'll have 200 watts, at least for now anyways. I don't really like the look of the solar panels hanging over the edges and stuff like that, so I kind of want it to look a little sleeker than that. So we'll just go with the 2 panels for now. Other than that, I made quite a bit of progress on the van already. I took out all the interior already, because I had all the modules built already and put in. So removed all of those, and obviously we've cut the hole. So you can see in here now, I guess it's a little bit optional as to how much sheet metal to take out and how much to leave in. Because these moldings and stuff have already been built now, and I had a flange kind of in here for the headliner to tuck into. These furring strips were in the original roof line so that the headliner could mount to them. I had them all the way across, and then some insulation in there, seeing the insulation in this space. So these kind of seemed like a natural place to start and stop the new trim that's going to have to go over here and finish the top. So that's kind of what I did on the sides. The front, obviously I think all high tops don't go over top of the front. That little area is over the seats, kind of remains as a structural component. But I came back even a little bit further. The rib, I don't know if you can see it, is in here. And I had this, again, a furring strip across here. And that was already all glued on and everything. So I thought, well, I may as well just make that our termination point so that it'd be easier to, do some sort of a trim across there, make it look good. So that's what will happen in the front. In the back, again, I left a bit of roof here. This was the back of the fan opening, and again I had a furring strip across here, and it's already glued on, and it's pretty flimsy, but it does offer some support and will give me some kind of a structure there to start the trim onto, or attach the trim onto. So that's kind of what we've done so far. Cut a big hole. Tried a few different methods. I guess it would have been good to have you along for that. Yeah, jigsaws, sawzalls. I didn't want to use any grinding discs or anything like that because any sparks, I'm not sure if you know that, but any sparks that make contact with glass will pit the glass almost instantly. And it's just hard to protect all of that. The carpet and the whatnot that's in the interior is built out of, everything would melt if it hit sparks. So what I did is I tarped it all off with moving blankets all around the perimeter. I've got this, I had one welding blanket to put on the floor, another cotton tarp off an old tent, and then all around the perimeter I just had clamped on moving blankets so that the glass would be protected. And I didn't want any, terrible trying to clean up all those little chips and stuff from cutting metal. So what I ended up using was this steel cutting circular saw. This guy here looks like a circular saw, but the blade is just slightly different. And boy, it did a super job. It just really easy to stay nice and straight when you're cutting. I know not everybody has one, and most people probably end up using a jigsaw, and I'm sure that would work well too. So that's where we're at right now, and we're kind of up to speed. I just put this vent mounting flange on just today. I know a lot of people use butyl here. I'm really familiar with butyl. We use a lot of that in our business, and it's fine. It does, however, never actually cures. It actually just stays soft, which is part of the reason it works so well for these types of installations. But what I wanted to do was have the space completely filled and conform to the curvature of the top and have some support. So what I did is I taped this all off and put it in there with structural silicone, Dow 795. It's kind of a silicone. It's a neutral cure silicone with some urethane in it, so it's pretty viscous. This is still wet yet, but you can see where this pushed through the screw holes. So once that's all set, I'll trim these off. I'll drill these out and put steel fasteners in and seal that. I wanted to do as much work as possible here when it's down low rather than getting it up on top of the van. Will be a lot harder to work on, obviously. So yeah, the solar panels are positioned, everything's ready to screw on. I'll have to get some stainless steel screws for those. The ones I had are so full of caulking and everything, it'd be better to start off new. The tape you see on the front here, or on the back I mean, and on the front, that's just the markings for where the suction cups go. When I brought it out of the trailer, I was able to balance it, and that's where the suction cups were when it was balanced. So I just wanted to mark them so when I put them back on, I don't have to readjust again. So next steps here is obviously get this set up and finish this up. I'll finish that up tomorrow. On the inside here in preparation, this particular top actually comes, let me just get a little ladder here. This top doesn't stop here where the sheet metal stops. It actually protrudes over in the back, over top of this, what we call a halo, this plastic molding that's here. So I'm going to take the plastic molding off so that I can seal it properly back to this body line here. So I have to do that. Also, this is pretty cool, being able to stand up in here already. However, yeah, so this GPS or OnStar antenna, I'm not sure exactly what purposes it all serves. Probably a few. It's going to come off. I don't use the OnStar, I'm not a big fan anyways. So it's coming off of there. I've already disabled it in here because it doesn't play well with the stereo. This is a Kenwood, I think it's called a 1057 stereo. It works great. In our trip we had both my Android hooked up to it and Sharon's Apple phone, both at the same time, navigating, listening to stories. It's great. It's a really nice unit, but yeah, it doesn't play well with OnStar. So anyways, in order to get that antenna off of here, I'm going to have to pull out this headliner again. It's been out before when I was doing the interior fit, and of course it's tucked in behind all kinds of things, so the moldings will have to come off. And yeah, so that's that. And of course then that has to come off. That has to come off anyways in order to fasten the top down in the front there anyways, because it does go all the way through right up to the windshield. So I need to get access to that. So that headliner comes off, the back trim comes off, and then I'm going to be ready to do a test fit on the top. Alright, you can see that the headliner is down now, and I'm not going to bother taking it all the way out. That's as far as it's going to go. We've got the antenna out of the way here now. A little bit of cleanup there. A bit of dirt everywhere. And once that's cleaned up, I think we're almost ready to do a little trial fit. Lift it on here. See exactly where it's going to go. More cleanup to do here. So do some cleanup, and I think one more thing I should probably do is just set those shoulder panels on one more time. Okay, I'm just going to set these little, I don't know, cable glands, access panels, I'm not sure what you call them, to go through the, allow these cables to go through. The rooftop, I'm going to put them in place and I'll glue them on again just because it's easier down here. So I'm going to get that done, and I'm not going to tape these off as I thought I was going to. I'm going to actually use the butyl on these instead, which works every little bit as good. So, and it'll make it a lot easier when you're up on the roof to set it in place, peel the tape and pop some screws in there. So that's what I'm going to do now, is just get these in place. Same on the back here. This is about as close as I can get it, and get room for these cables to come around, go inside so I can make the connection under the top. Okay, that'll be the perimeter there. Now I just have to see if I can get some tape around this. Get some tape to stick to this. Once you get silicone on something, it's pretty hard to make anything stick to it. Silicone is actually a lubricant as well as a sealant. You're probably all familiar with silicone sprays. Once it gets in the pores of a surface, it's pretty hard to get it out. That's why body shops don't want guys with silicone spray in there when they're doing their auto glass. Of course, that's not a thing anymore, but showing my age here, but back in the day, you put a windshield in a car. Of course, it was just a rubber gasket holding it in, and that rubber gasket needed lubrication to... I'll take these off for a minute. Needed lubrication in order to get forced into the pinch weld and onto the glass. So we'd often use silicone spray. Of course, if you ever did that in the body shop, you'd get pretty excited. Of course, we never did. Because, as I said, the silicone will get into the pores of the metal, and it just doesn't come off. There might be some silicone cleaners these days that would work, I don't know, but back in the day, it's pretty hard to get rid of that stuff. Okay, well, that was stuck. Lucky that way. Alright, so now you see how that'll just go on there. Squish it down into the silicone and then peel the tape off. But first I want to drill holes for the cables to come through. Okay, see now we squish that out of there. So we know that's completely full. I normally just use my finger to tool these things, but I know I'm not going to be able to get in around that front there. Get the excess off. I can't get in there. Pretty good. That should do it. Now reverse procedure. Sometimes I get lucky. Pull a bunch off at once. Sometimes less lucky. You don't want to go in two directions at once, really. There we go. Alright, and that's it. Don't even touch it anymore. You can see how the silicone has come right through the little hole that was there, so it's completely filled, sealed. Can't get better than that. I'll do the same over here. I think I need these side ones. Wondering why I'm using that can upside down. It's because I think the straw is broken off inside the can. It doesn't spray when it's straight up and down, but it works fine upside down. So. All right. Oops, I'm right on top of the tape here. There we go. Oh. So these have a plunger inside them. This sucks the vacuum out as you pump it. There's a little red line here you can see, and that if that comes out exposed, you know you're losing your vacuum. So that can be your job. Watch those little lines. If they come out, let me know, hey? Oh no, I went double. Double like that. Double trouble. Yeah. Like that. Voila. Just put some guidance rope on it. Through the door. No, I don't think I'll fit through the door like that. It's not going to come through here. Challenge would be, how do I disconnect that? That's a pretty tall van now. That's a pretty tall van now.
Yeah.
It sure looks different. Leave those up there for now. Thank you, camera person.
Sure. That it?
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Well, that's great. We've got the top on the van now. I'm lucky that Sharon came down when she did to check out what I was up to, because she was a great help to align things and get things set on top there. But I'm really impressed with how well it fits. There's a lot of contours and stuff that this has to fit. There's no straight lines in any direction, so they did a good job on the mold. And I think it's really going to be a great improvement up here. I've got a few extra bits and pieces.
Ooh, look at all the headroom I have.
There you can see how nicely it conforms. You can't see really any daylight through anywhere. It's unbelievable, except for maybe at the back there's a little bit, but you can see in these corners here there's a bit of daylight coming through there, but that'll all be filled up. Fill that up solid with the caulking, and it'll be real nice. Okay, so it's a new day. We left off here with this back trim and what to do about it, and I slept on it and I decided that this is going to just get the trim put back on, and there's no real reason for it to ever come off again anyways, because it's really just molding to cover up this transition between all the different welds of the pinch welds, putting all these panels together. So there's no reason for it to come off in the future. So that's going to go back on here, and then I'll drop the top back down again, and we'll go on to the next phase, which will be just marking off the perimeter for the caulking joint. It's really just finding the best fit and how this is going to sit down on the sheet metal. You can see there, side to side, that looks pretty good. Is it a little more to the passenger? Might be a touch more to the passenger there. And the front sits pretty nice right there, but I feel like in the back I might want to come forward a little bit. You can see on the light here that it's a bit, looks like it should go forward a tiny bit. Also just in the way it fits in here. You know, this piece down here sits down into the rail, and then it curves up a bit to go over top of this trim. And I'm going to be able to seal that. I'll just stop the sealant back a bit because there's no reason to get the sealant up over into this gap and stuff, so that part's fine. But I feel like it should go forward just a little bit. Side to side in the back, so just in the gutter there. Just a touch over to the driver here. Just want to know where the perimeter of this is. Did some marks here. Taping is all done. This is what it turned out looking like. That'll allow me to have the caulking completely fill the void, push it through into the outside, and then tool it off, and it'll still look nice. I have to pull the top now, clean this all up, do a little sanding, silicone it, drop her back down. Okay, that's it. Okay, next steps. I need to rough up the contact surfaces if I can reach them. Prepped all the edge, sanded the bottom, sanded the underside of the fiberglass, cleaned it all, and now we're ready to do some gluing down. That should have enough caulking everywhere. Let's give you a quick little look around. Lots of caulking. Again, this is structural silicone. Once this sets up, and it does take a while to set up. Once it sets up, it's not going anywhere, that's for sure. So I'm going to leave you in here while I set this down. Enjoy the view. Hopefully don't enjoy it too much, like a crash or something. See what we can do. Go around good here. Now we need to go back a little bit. Yes, back. Oh, too far. Front to back. Looks like it could go forward a tiny bit. That looks pretty good. That side to side looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Side to side here. Looks like it could go over a tiny bit. That. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around the perimeter here and tool all this. It's pretty hard to do holding a camera, but I'll try. Oh, I didn't get that very well. There we go. Alright, and then you have to have a rag handy. Wipe your finger off. The important thing here, we do these type of joints all the time with glass, shower enclosures, things like that. The important thing is to make sure you get your caulking tooled all the way down to the edge of the tape in both directions. Because if you don't, if it's just up over the edge, and when you peel your tape, it makes a feathered edge, which is super ugly. So that's the trick to that. So just to push hard, get something soft. Make sure you're tooling it right to the edge of the tape that you've put on. And I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way around here. It's just too hard to do it while I'm holding the camera, so I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, the tooling has been done all around, the same as I did in the front. So now I'm just going to strip the tape off and should expose a pretty nice looking joint. It's still too hard to hold the camera and do that, so I'm going to put you there and you can see the kind of the general idea. The trick to this is trying to keep the silicone off of me. Okay, I want to show you exactly what I mean by burying the edge of the tape. If you don't tool down to the edge of the caulking, tape, then what happens is when you peel it off, it feathers like this because the edge of the tape is still inside. So I got a bit of a mess there to clean up. Even get my finger in there. My little finger goes in. Human fingers are just the best things, aren't they? Okay. Well, that's kind of the way it looks in the end. That black on there is actually the paint from the awning mount that was on there before. It's kind of taken the paint right off. I'll have to maybe do a little touch up there because the awning will mount a little further up in the future here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it's going to look. Once that cures up, that'll be strong as strong can be. And it looks good too. There's no real significant transition there. So another thing that really surprised me is the color match. I'll show you in the back here. You can see you know, this area here. It's completely sealed further in, so it's really just, you know, as far as finishing, it's just a reveal there. I think that's just going to remain as is. It's not gorgeous, but it's fine. It's fine. You also see some of the old holes from mounting the awning, so I'll fill some of that stuff in and touch it up. And I may as well show you inside too. Alright, let's have a look in here. Okay, so that's the way it finished up on the inside. The fiberglass return is a little irregular, and I mean that's kind of to be expected. Could be the sheet metal, it's a little irregular as well, but all of this in here gets covered up. So this thing is completely sealed, completely full of caulking in between the flange and the sheet metal, so that's going to give it a lot of strength, and of course it's going to be sealed well. Okay, I've drilled a bunch of clearance holes through the fiberglass. Now I'm going to go with a smaller bit just to do a pilot hole for the screws through the sheet metal. Alright, time to put in a few screws. Put some screws in here now, so it has some shear strength, and that's going to be it on the inside, I think. We have to go to the outside now and pop in a skylight and put on some solar panels. It's a long ways up here. Okay, now I'll have to go inside and raise the roof. Too easy to get up there, and I guess the solar panels won't be any easier, will they? back in place. Prepping these solar panels to install. Really all you have to do is have to cut these ends off. There's really no way to depin these that I could find. So I'll have to put new ends on. I'll probably just solder them to an extension. But I want to mark which is positive and negative. They're both black, as you can see, and this won't come all the way through the gland, so I won't be able to see it. So I'll just put a little piece of masking tape on there. Okay, those are just going to go up on the roof and go through the gland. I'll deal with them on the inside. These pads that go on the roof, of course, I need to put some butyl tape on those just to seal the holes. And then I want to poke the holes through here, because if you just run a screw through this stuff, it just tends to wind up on the screw and really is useless. You put this little punch in a drill. Oh, that worked dandy. Just a little punch. Good. Okay, that panel's ready to go up. I'll peel the tape after it's down on the surface of the van top. Let's get the other solar panel and get it prepped as well. Oops, front the other way. Okay, just need to put some caulking on these screws to seal them, and then we're pretty much done up here. That's it overall. 2 solar panels up on the roof, fantastic fan, or max air fan I guess it is. All installed, and of course I have to finish the inside yet. Well, it's a bit windy out here today, but I wanted to bring it outside and show you how it looks so you can kind of assess for yourself if you want to get yourself a high top on your van. So anyways, I'm pretty happy with it. So here it is. Bright white, I would say. I think it turned out pretty nice. Looks pretty good. This again is a TUFPORT brand from Delta, BC, and I've been pretty happy with it. No, they didn't pay me anything to say that. It fit really nice. I like the look of it. Looks pretty streamlined and slick, so not sick. Well, maybe sick. Anyway, looks good. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. Do what I can to answer them.